In this lecture, we're going to be snapping in edit mode. We're going to learn the power of the snapping tool in edit mode. We're going to be snapping and merging parts of an object together, and then we're going to be joining multiple objects together using this tool. We're then going to provide a couple of challenges, so let's move in to Blender. So I have a pre-made setup, however, I'm going to start this one blank. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to learn about the snapping tool in edit mode. We already know that in object mode we can apply the snapping tool by pressing this button. And then when we grab our object will move in increments on the Blender grids. These are in increments of 1 Blender unit per time. However, we can use snapping as a more powerful tool in edit mode. So let's go into edit mode. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to snap vertices together. So I am going to first of all change the snap element, which is down here, from increment to vertex. I'm then going to select my vertex, grab it, hover it over the vertex I want it to snap to, and left click. Next I will do the same with this vertex. So grab, hover over and click, and now we have snapped our vertices together. I'm going to undo these steps and I'm going to show you how it's done using edge snapping. So I'm going to press Ctrl Z twice, 3 times, and then I'm going to go into edge select mode, select my edge, make sure that my snap element is also edge, grab my edge and snap it to this edge. Now make sure that when you do this you still snap to one of the corner vertex, otherwise it can slide along. So make sure it's in the corner vertex, confirm with left click, and there you go. This works very well with vertex snap and edge snap. However, when snapping parts of a single object together, it's not plausible to do this with the face snap element, because in theory every face is part of the 3D object and each face is a different angle to the one next to it. So this can become quite tricky, so we're not going to worry about face snap elements for the moment. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on to how we can snap to other objects. So I'm going to go into object mode and I'm just going to go into increment snap and move my cube along the Y axis. Next I'm going to press A to make sure that nothing is selected, and I'm going to create a second mesh. I'm going to press Shift and A, mesh, cube. I'm just going to bring my cube up so that it is in line with my first cube. And now I'm going to go back into edit mode. I'm going to go into vertex snap element and vertex select. I'm going to select this vertex, and by grabbing this vertex and hovering over the vertex I want it to snap to, I can confirm with left click, and the two objects have now joined together at that coordinate. I can do the same with this vertex, grab, hover over and snap. I can also do this using my edge select. Select an edge, make sure that both the edge increment and the edge select are switched on. Grab my edge and link it with this one, and there we go. Now in this case, when we're combining two objects together, we can also do the same using face snapping. This will be a little bit more challenging, so I'm going to undo those previous steps. I'm going to go into object mode, because I think we need to increase the distance slightly to make this a little bit easier. Get a good camera angle, and I'm going to change the snap element to face, and the select tool as I go back into edit mode to face. Select my face, grab, and I want to hover it over a vertex. So you always want to hover it over a vertex ideally, so it can snap onto the face connected to that vertex. Click, and there we go. Now that's if we hover in, that's slightly off there. So if we undo that, let's see if we can do that again. Now this is why I recommend using the snap element for vertex select and edge select rather than face select, because it's a lot more tricky this way. So I'm going to grab, hover over my object, try and get it so that it reaches the corner point, and confirm. And I think that's perfect, excellent. So even if you're in face snapping or edge snapping, you still want to hover over the vertices that are related to that edge or to that face, because that's the easiest way to get an accurate snap. So I now have a challenge for you. In fact, I have two challenges for you. I want you to, using the snap tool in edit mode, I want you to create a ramp. So create a ramp, like a skateboard ramp. If you're not sure what one looks like, look up on Google. I'll have a few pictures in the section assets for you, just so you can have a look. Very simple thing to create. Give that a go. Then once you've done that challenge, I want you to create a custom object by joining other meshes together. It doesn't have to be anything specific, but I want you to create several primitive meshes, and I want you to use the snapping tool in edit mode to join these meshes together in whatever way you like and come up with your own crazy custom object. Post those objects in the discussions, guys, and I will see you in the next lecture.